Hindi imposition was a burning issue in Tamil Nadu, and for the first time, the world witnessed people sacrificing their lives for our language Tamil. Now, why does the BJP is raking it up again and making it a huge issue? Three-language formula. We have not stuck up in time. We have actually leaped forward far beyond the states of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Hindi is a meal which we can take from anywhere, and English is the master chef who prepares and gives food to us according to our instructions. But it is our mother tongue Tamil. It is equivalent to a home meal prepared by our own, either by our mother or by our anybody at home, according to our tastes. We are all the more reformed, cultured and techno-savvy than any other people. We have not burdened our children with the language, with this burden of learning three languages. What happened to the fate of the languages of Maithili, Awadhi, Bhojpuri? Where are they now? Everywhere Hindi is. All those languages have been sidelined, and that was the fate of those states which had accepted the three-language formula. Imposition or three-language formula, why do we oppose? Because two-language formula is immersed in our cultural identity. And imposing a three-language formula, we always see it as a hegemonical, superior attitude of the union government. We know the tricks of the union BJP government. This is how they try to, like enter through the back door. They will say all those sugar-coated words. That is how the cat will be out of the bag. And that is how the students or the children will end up losing their mother tongue. And as responsible state leaders, we have to be very, very alert. Why should they have to just now insist and club politicizing the funds, like as a tool of revenge?
Hello and welcome to HD's weekly talk show, The Interview. On the very first day that Parliament met, there were disruptions. It was the DMK versus the government. The issue, the National Education Policy or NEP. Why is the DMK at loggerheads with the government? Are the fears genuine or is it sheer politics? And is the government trying to impose Hindi on Tamil Nadu as the state government alleges? The war has just begun and it is likely to dominate this session of Parliament. We have with us Dr. Thamizhachi Thangapandian, Member of Parliament, to decode DMK's objections and explain why her party is against Hindi. Dr. Thangapandian here with us in this edition of HD's weekly talk show, The Interview. Welcome to the show, Dr. Thamizhachi Thangapandian, and thank you for being here with us.
Pleasure is mine. Looking forward to this, and it's good to have you this evening with me.
Thank you. Let us begin with the basics. What is the three-language formula controversy as the DMK would like us to see and interpret it?
See, DMK has been following this two-language formula long ago. From 1930s till 1965-67, it's a long story. To cut it short, Hindi imposition was a burning issue in Tamil Nadu. And for the first time, the world witnessed people sacrificing their lives for our language Tamil. So when our founder party leader, Peraringer Anna, became this chief minister, two-language formula has been adopted, and our honorable former Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, also has given us assurance that till how long the non-Hindi speaking states would love to have it, they can have the two-language formula. I would like to quote Anna's speech in Tamil. ரொம்ப அழகாக சொல்லியிருப்பார் அவர். ஆங்கிலம் எங்களுக்கு, இந்தி எங்களுக்கு எடுப்புச் சாப்பாடு. ஆங்கிலம் எங்களுக்கு நாங்கள் விரும்பியது போல் சமைத்து தருகின்ற சமையல்காரன். ஆனால் எங்களுடைய மனம் அறிந்து, மனை அறிந்து, ஊனறிந்து, உணர்வறிந்து, இல்லத்திலே எங்கள் தாய் பரிமாறுகின்ற சாப்பாடு தான் தமிழ். Meaning that Hindi is a meal which we can take from anywhere, and English is the master chef who prepares and gives food to us according to our instructions. But it is our mother tongue Tamil, it is equivalent to a home meal prepared by our own, either by our mother or by anybody at home, according to our tastes. So the language is equivalent to our own life and soul. So it's not just like a communication tool, it's a soul, and it is entwined in the culture of our own people. So far we have been following that, and the matter is all settled in 1968 itself. Now why does the BJP is raking it up again and making it a huge issue? 3-language formula. Tamil Nadu has been a wonderfully performing state, especially in the field of education, because of its 2-language formula.
2 points. You were talking about 1965, and I take that point, but don't you think with time, the DMK and all of us need to move forward? So instead of being in a time wrap of 1965, don't you think we should come to 2024 and probably usher in a reform, if at all? That's one. And the second, you quoted in Tamil and said homemade food, which our mother serves. Sure, point well taken. But isn't it also sometimes good to eat out?
That is why we want English. For the question number 1, my straight question is, what do we mean by reform? And we have moved forward. See, for example, children educated in Tamil Nadu who are proficient in English are scattered all over the world. Sundar Pichai, to name one. I have the list. Like, we have not stuck up in time. Many of India's top scientists and technologists are from Tamil Nadu's government schools, educated in Tamil medium, a state which is following a 2-language formula. First, number 1, atomic scientist, our former President Abdul Kalam. Chandrayaan-1 director Mailsami Annadurai. Chandrayaan-2 director Muttaya Vanitha. Chandrayaan-3 director Palanivel Veeramuthuvel. First lunar mission Nigar Shaji. Previous ISRO chief Dr. Keshavan. Current ISRO chief V. Narayan. I can go on.
So what is the point you're making?
No, we have not stuck up in time. We have actually leaped forward far beyond the states of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, how many of them are proficient in English? How many of them are scattered all over? In fact, most of the North Indian workers are coming to Tamil Nadu, migrant workers are from these so-called states, wherein they say that so-called 3-language formula is existing. So we are never ever stuck up in history. We are in fact leaped forward towards AI, in software, in technology, learning our mother tongue, and along with that, having a visionary futuristic attitude, we have equipped ourselves proficient in English, and now we were everywhere in the world, Tamilians. So we are all the more reformed, cultured, and techno-savvy than any other people. That is sheerly because we have not burdened our children with the language, with this burden of learning 3 languages. The second important point is that you had asked, if we accept this, what happened to the fate of the languages of Maithili, Awadhi, Bhojpuri? Where are they now? Everywhere Hindi is. All those languages have been sidelined, and that was the fate of those states which had accepted the 3-language formula. That is why we have been very, very careful that, because Tamil, this is, like this imposition or 3-language formula, why do we oppose? Because 2-language formula is immersed in our cultural identity. And imposing a 3-language formula, we always see it as a hegemonical, superior attitude of the union government, which is in a sort of ascertaining the political power.
point well taken about the two language formula, but don't you need to evolve and move forward? And how do you see the addition of a third language as, and I would call it misinterpretation by the DMK, as imposition of Hindi? Just decode that for me.
See, that's what I basically differ from your usage of move forward. That is what I was trying to clearly tell you.
Evolve.
We have actually evolved all the more better than any other states just because we have adopted a two-language formula. When our Peraringer Anna was asked the same question, why don't you accept the third formula? He just explained it with a beautiful adage. He says, see, I'm constructing a house. I am just installing a door, a big door. Why should I have to have a separate hole, a small hole in the wall? People who are all imposing the third language formula, it's like constructing a big door, also a small hole in your wall. And I would like to also ask how many students in Uttar Pradesh and Haryana are learning third language as Telugu or Tamil or Kannada? They are not even having a second language. They are learning only Hindi. So that is the bigger picture in which you have to look into our case.
Let me try and put this differently. Isn't it a case of the more the merrier? After all, one is not taking away anything but giving in the three language formula an additional language. So isn't it in one sense giving a wider and bigger basket?
No, we are very, very clear in that. What are the eggs that you are putting in the baskets? That will make the difference. It's not like giving anything else. You say that that's how it is all sugar coated. For example, from 2017 to 21, the budget allocated for Sanskrit language is 1,000 crores. But the allocated budget for Tamil language is only 22 crores. From 22 to 23, the budget allocated for Hindi language is 1,000 crores, more than that. But the budget allocated for Tamil is just 84 crores. So we know the tricks of the Union BJP government. This is how they try to, like enter through the back door. They will say all those sugar-coated words, and we didn't lose anything without knowing Hindi. See, I'm a member of the parliament. I don't know Hindi. I can converse well in English. That is the case of many other professionals from Tamil Nadu. So might as well we can manage. English, actually the language has liberated us, taken us to all the parts of the world. So why should I have to learn a language which is not my choice? If you make it as an act or as a policy, and this has been intertwined, or this has been very, very sentimentally into our blood as a part of our cultural identity. So we are not ready to pledge that for any other backdoor entry.
Let me ask you to decode the tricks, to quote you, of the government, which you are talking about.
Yeah, the tricks are like, see, the government does, one of the tricks is Kasi Sangamam. To give a picture that they are actually, taking up importance for all the languages, for example, all the Tamil, glorifying Tamil. But that doing that doesn't deliver the goods in the proper term. You're not doing anything for the development of Tamil. You're not, see for example, that the Union Education Minister called the Tamil people, all of us, as uncivilized.
But he also apologized.
Dishonest.
But he also apologized.
That is the second thing. But that is how it is known. Like, the Prime Minister goes in praise of, I really thank the Prime Minister for having high regards for Tirukkural. But there is a saying in our Tamil, நீங்க படிக்கிறது ராமாயணம் ஆனா இடிக்கிறது பெருமாள் கோயில். நீங்க தமிழை பத்தி உயர்வா சொல்றீங்க, தமிழ்நாடு எல்லாம் சொல்றீங்க, ஆனா தமிழுக்குன்னு என்ன செஞ்சிருக்கீங்க? So simply decoding is, how many Tamil teachers have you employed in Kendriya Vidyalaya? How many schools in the northern states are learning a third language apart from their own, from the south, the South Indian languages? Say for example, Telugu, Tamil or Kannada. And show me one state which is made in the northern state, which has made in progress in economic and as well as education only because of their three language formula.
While you thank the Prime Minister, in the same breath, the DMK calls the Prime Minister or the BJP anti-Tamil. But the Prime Minister has praised Tamil as a language and spoken about the Senegal. Also, the Union Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, has named a CISF training center after Rajaditya Chola. So, what is the basis of these allegations?
We are really happy, I said, and we would like to thank them again also. But naming them and probably the Sengol again is not, we are against monarchy. We are against that symbol. We are the democratic country. We should uphold our constitution only. We have come away, long away from monarchy. We are a democratic country, so we no longer need Shengols to be displayed. That is our DMK parties and anybody who believes in democracy. That is our stand. So our main complaint or regret is that they are just professing only for the namesake and not doing anything. Then they might should have shown all that love about Tamil to the Tamil people by allocating the proper funds, by giving more funds. So they should show concrete steps and actions either from the Prime Minister or from the Home Minister or from the Union other ministers that they are actually loving Tamil Nadu, Tamil people as well as Tamil language. These are all just for the namesakes, I would say.
So let me ask you upfront, what are the genuine fears, and I underline the word genuine, of the DMK, and what are the logical objections to this formula?
Slowly you will say 3 language, you will bring whatever language it is, and then that's the case with the ஒரு இனத்தை அழிக்க வேண்டுமென்றால் அந்த இனத்தினுடைய மொழியை அழித்தால் போதும். If you want to just finish off a race, just see to that language is undone with. Our simple concern is, don't burden the students with these 3 languages in the earlier stages itself. Let them take any other language if they want.
So, if you're saying that there is pressure on students or resources, that's a point well taken. But isn't that then different from imposition of Hindi?
No, it's very clear. The message is very, very clear. Hindi has actually, like everything, it has digested in its own, and now people have totally forgotten about Maithili or Awadhi or Bhojpuri. So, the message is very clear. That is how it will all begin. They will sugarcoat and then they will say that, why don't you have the capacity, you can learn 12 languages. That is how they do that. They will bring that. We are well aware of the tricks of BJP. That is why we are always on the alert mode and we will never budge in.
You don't see this as exaggerated fears or maybe unfounded also? Because they are not in the 3 language formula. They are not mentioning Hindi.
No, that's what. See, that I want the viewers as well as you to be very clear that this is a very, very authenticated fear, not on hypothesis. There are evidences in history that even now it is the recent things. They look at the budget allocations, look at, like the imposition of Hindi as well as, like the prominence given to Sanskrit. That's how they all do that. So why don't you ask the northern states to learn English instead of asking us to learn a 3rd language?
And you translate that 3rd language as Hindi.
Exactly.
Why? Because they are not saying it's Hindi.
They won't say that. That is their politics. They will never say that. So far, in all the instances of confrontations, they will never say that. They will say on all these sugar-coated words, it is not imposition, it is just an opportunity, it is just a chance. For all these, we have our own rational, we have our own authenticated historical proofs that this is how they, that's what I meant by backdoors. They will bring slowly, so they will say that, but that is not actually the truth.
So let me ask you, are the intentions suspect simply because it is the BJP government which is implementing this? Or would the DMK's objections would have remained as strong if it was any other government?
It will remain strong for any other government. We will never compromise in that.
irrespective of the government.
Yes, exactly. This is the basic principle. The present CM MK Stalin also has clearly stated that two-language formula is like the two eyes of the Tamil Nadu. We will never ever compromise and pawn it for any other carrots before the rabbits.
How do you view the centre withholding the Shiksha Abhiyan funds? And I know you're going to really hit out on that. Would you say it's pressure tactics? Would you say it's bullying? How would you describe that?
It's both. The SSA funds, there's no other law that says that you can withhold a fund to the opposition party. That was the question I raised. Why should you have to apply this pressure tactics to a state just because it's an opposition state? Because SSA is different. After the implementation of SSA only, after 2 years or 3 years only, you're bringing this NEP. So why should you now pressurize as that we will release the funds only if you sign an MOU for the PMC schools, which has the objectionable components like the three-language formula. So it is a pressurized tactics as well as, like it is a terrible death knell on the federal structure of Indian democracy. Education is in the concurrent list and the union government should not forget that.
So is it about Hindi, imposition of Hindi, or is it about BJP's hostility towards southern states?
I would phrase that both mean the same. Imposition of Hindi, they know that it's a very, very sensitive subject concerning Tamilians. So unless otherwise they are hostile towards Tamil Nadu, why should they have to rake it up now? Having known the sentiments of Tamilian people and having seen the history of right from 1930s onwards, 1967 and then 68, they knew the history of this anti-Hindi agitation. And our, like we celebrate even January 25th as the Language Martyrs Day in Tamil Nadu alone, because so many people have given their lives for that. So having known that very well, why should they have to just now insist and club politicizing the funds, like as a tool of revenge, allocation of funds, denying the funds as a tool of revenge. And that shows that they're hostile towards us.
It's also alleged that the DMK is whipping up and playing politics because the state elections are a year away. And this issue, the sentimental issue, will come handy. It's kind of a low-hanging fruit, so to speak.
DMK doesn't have an enemy even if we see like that. Especially BJP doesn't have any holding there in Tamil Nadu. Not even a single seat it has won. So why should we have to bother about an enemy which does not exist? Especially BJP, not even in any picture of us. So we don't have any reason to worry about either elections or any potential enemy. We believe in our schemes, our CM's Dravidian model successful schemes. And as far as we see, we don't see anybody in the opposition of whom we are really worried about and playing all these cheap tricks. I would say that the BJP is playing all those tricks of just probably, trying to turn the attention of the people or whatever it is. But DMK doesn't have any such agenda because it's not worried about either having any potential enemy or having to work out a cheap strategy like this.
But overconfidence in electoral politics normally is suicidal. So when you say the DMK has nothing to worry about and the BJP has no hold, aren't you jumping the gun?
This is not overconfidence. This is just assessing the situation. We know about our track record, our achievements, our Chief Minister's achievements for the past 4 years, all the welfare schemes and how we are performing. In spite of all these obstacles, we are performing high and we do believe that only a performance can take us to the other level. So we believe in the confidence of our achievements and that doesn't mean that we are overrating it. Then they could have at least won a single seat now. Even the previous elections, only one, the alliance partner has won. Now, it's totally 40 out of 40. So, that is the confidence which the people of Tamil Nadu had actually kept on us and we are trying to prove ourselves to match to their expectations and that is the assessment, not overconfidence.
When you say 40 over 40, It reminds me of what the BJP says, is bar 400 par.
That is, anybody can have any sort of dreams. It's a democratic country, and I won't object to that. But what I hope for, and what we achieve, want to achieve is based on our track record. It's like, like taking stock. You have your elections a year ahead. You sit and then you take stock of what you have done. And based on that, you say that we are very confident in winning the votes. Not just like mere sloganeering of, what is that, 400 par? That may be an overconfident statement, but for us, it's like taking stock, and then based on our achievements only, we are very confident in facing the elections.
At another level, wouldn't learning Hindi be a good way to bridge the North-South divide?
At another level, why can't the North Indians learn the South Indian languages to bridge the North-South gap? That's a very simple question. Because Hindi is not a national language. It is a language and it is spoken by some states, people of some states. That's okay, we understand. And why should we have to bridge the gap? The gap itself, like we don't feel actually, as long as English is there, as long as we are communicating, and we always feel that we are one united India. So we never felt that only when they impose things like that, only we are denied our right due allocation of funds, we feel that there is a gap. So the same question I can ask the northern people also. Why don't you learn the southern languages? Because you are the ones who are coming all the way. We see we have a lot of migrant workers in Tamil Nadu, in all the cities. So they should learn our languages instead of throwing that question to us. I would humbly put the ball in their court.
Let me quote BJP State Chief Mr. Annamalai. Stalin is a hypocrite. He has allowed the three-language formula to flourish in private schools, including those run by the family and other DMK leaders. How do you respond to that?
See, this has been a false sort of an idea which has been repeatedly expressed by our brother Annamalai. See, people who are running the CBSE schools, as per the mandatory rules there, they might have had that. In all the CBSE school, it's there. The option is there. Again, we are reiterating that. See, why do you now impose all these things through the NEP? And why should you have to club the allocation of funds on the basis of only if you accept certain components, we will do this? That is a major concern. So this is very, very non-authenticated statement which he often makes.
Yes, but in private schools, there is a three-language formula.
See, when Tamil Nadu, when Dr. Kalanga was the chief minister and my brother was the school education minister, uniform education, Samachir Kalvi, Tamil Nadu, they brought it as a mandatory thing. And the parents went to the Supreme Court for that. So sometimes, like it is the private schools, they come under the entirely different stream, and sometimes they do that. But we always insist that if the students or if it is their choice, they can take it. That's not a problem with us. But imposing it without having concrete proof that you had actually prospered well, or you had done economically well, or you had been flying all over the world only because you had learnt a third language is an illogical, not proven argument. So we are not for it.
So 2 points, that if in the private schools you give that choice, that you can if you want, that's exactly what the center is saying in the three-language formula, that you can if you want. That's one part. The second, doesn't it leave then the government schools students at a disadvantage?
Who is going to decide what is the benchmark for advantage or disadvantage? That is the major, very important question. What do you mean by advantage? What do you mean by disadvantage? You can't just decide the meaning of these two words sitting in the center, and you can't decide the rules or the meanings of these two. We have clearly explained that this is a major disadvantage. There is nowhere a question of bringing in the future or this, the welfare of the students. In fact, it is the other way, vice versa it is. They are not going to be benefited at all.
What about Mr. Stalin's take that one of the reasons the USSR disintegrated is imposition of the Russian language on linguistic minorities. Isn't this a kind of a threat vis-a-vis India?
I don't see any sort of a thread in our Chief Minister's statement. That is just an adage or a rightful example which he has stated, which everybody totally agree with. That was the alarming sign when USSR, the Russia, the great Russia, when it disintegrated into different parts, the major instigating factor was the imposition. See, that is just one example. We never believe in giving any threat unless otherwise we are hurt, unless otherwise we are just touched upon in a wrong way. We will never take any sort of an arrogant or other attitude. So I wouldn't say that it is a sort of a warning. It's a sort of a comparison or just a suggestion to look at those historical events and just try to take lessons from that.
But he has said that the language issue will affect the unity of the country.
There's no doubt about that. Doesn't see when we were asking for Tani Tamil Nadu, you know the history that. But when there was a war with China, it was a founder party leader. He said we are withdrawing that separate state because we are Indians. When India is at a threat, we wanted to give support and we want to be united as part of India. தனி தமிழ்நாடு கோரிக்கையை, திராவிட நாடு கோரிக்கையை எங்களுடைய தலைவர் அண்ணாதுரை கைவிட்ட பொழுது, சீனாவிற்கு எதிராக இந்தியா போர் அபாய சூழலில் இருக்கும் பொழுது, நாங்கள் எங்களுடைய திராவிட நாடு கோரிக்கையை கைவிடுகிறோம். Because we are Indians. So we never have any intention of going away or giving any threats. See, when Bangladesh war was announced, when Madam Gandhi wanted all the states to contribute their own donations, it was Tamil Nadu under the leadership of Dr. Kalaignar, which has collected and given more than 10 crores, the first of all the states. And you know what Kalaignar said at that time when Madam Gandhi had a function to collect all the donations? He said, Madam, I made it a point to donate higher than all the other states because we are much lesser when compared to your state of Uttar Pradesh. We are much less in numbers. In population wise, in parliamentarian representation wise, we are much less. But still, I wanted to tell that we are in no way lesser there in patriotism. We are in no way lesser than that, the feeling that we belong to India. That's why I made it a point to collect money at the topmost rank when compared to all the other states. Our Chief Minister, MK Stalin, also believes in that. So there's no such feeling that it's a sort of going away or whatever it is. We are trying to make our demands democratically and constitutionally right.
We are running out of time, but I cannot resist asking you about DMK's fight on the issue of delimitation. This despite the fact that the Union Home Minister has assured that the southern states will get a fair share of seats.
Honorable Home Minister has said that your seats, has told that your seats won't be decreased. But he hasn't assured that the seats in the northern states won't be increased. That is where the secret or the crux of the matter lies. We envisage the danger that we are facing. அழகா வள்ளுவர் தான் சொல்லியிருப்பார். I'll explain that. வருமுன்னர் காப்பாதான் வாழ்க்கை எரிமுன்னர் வைத்தூறு போல கெடும். Prevention is better than cure, which Tiruvallur has rightfully stated. See, the population, the delimitation is going to be fixed on the population census. And the population census, now the proportion of the parliamentary representation is based on the population census of 1970. 1970, when the population control program was implemented, it was the southern states, especially Tamil Nadu, put its foot forward and did maximum best and kept its population under control. Now, the population has come to a static rate in all this, especially in Tamil Nadu. It has not increased at all. So, our Chief Minister's question is, we are taking up this issue well ahead because we envisage a danger of getting cuts of our numbers. Now we are 40. If it is implemented on the basis of the population of the recent the future census, not on 1970s, then 8 or 9 seats will be cut down for us. Is this a price that Tamil Nadu has to pay for effectively adopted the population control program? So our chief minister's demand is that you have to keep maintain the status quo. 1970 population census you have to maintain, because union minister has assured that your seats won't be decreased, but he hasn't assured that the other northern states won't be increased. So you imagine they are cutting 8 or 9 seats to us. But imagine Uttar Pradesh is doubling up, Bihar is doubling up. Then the union government may form a government without even the support of the southern states. It is changing the political authoritarian map of India. That is their intention. Changing the political map, authoritarian map of India, reassuring the hegemony of one particular party without the support of the southern states. So our chief minister had envisaged the danger which lies ahead of us. And as you said, prevention is better than cure. He has taken up the cue, and now he has written a letter to all the allied minded opposition party leaders as well as the opposition chief ministers.
So without using the word dubious, you are absolutely implying that the intentions of the BJP and the centre are suspect and dubious.
Exactly. It's a very, very clear-cut agenda which any layman could easily see that. If you're going to keep this population of the next population census as the yardstick for the delimitation, then the southern states will totally be devoid of their due seats, which means that the political authority will certainly shift it to the northern side, and the BJP's intention is to have the control of one whole India on their own hand without the support of the southern states, because we are the ones now, we are holding our federal rights. We are the ones who are just making a huge, dominant cry for upholding democratic principles.
Finally, at the macro level, what about Mr. Stalin's attempt to bring together parties and the affected states? How do you see this shaping up at the national level and impacting the politics of the country at a later date?
Our chief minister has actually emerged as a statesman, uniting all the alliances of the opposition parties. He has played a pivotal, dominant, important role in that. Now, I would like to compare this initiative of our chief minister, gathering all the like-minded opposition leaders as well as the opposition party chief ministers. I can compare this to an initiative done by M.N. Roy, who has shouldered strong support to Lenin during his the Great Revolution. So he, as the famous communist leader, in 1940, he met Periyar, the revolutionary iconoclast leader of Tamil Nadu, to form an alliance against Hitler, the Nazis. That was supposed to be a very, very important juncture in history.
So fast forward to the present.
Our chief minister is doing that. Such a powerful, like-minded alliance, especially in this matter. I'm saying that this delimitation issue.
So is it going to be limited to this, or is this a takeoff point for a wider
yes,
coming together of...
Yeah, of course. Naturally, it will set, it will set the ground. It will definitely set the ground for all the future happenings, for all the, like-minded Democrats as well as the people who uphold all the socialist principles, not the fundamental fascist principles. So all of them, if they are aligned together, you can see that they might take it forward to future also.
Dr. Sumati, thank you very much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for decoding the issue of the 3-language formula or imposition of Hindi, as the DMK would choose to describe it.
Thank you very much, dear Kumkum. It's always been an insightful conversation, which gives me a lot of also, retrospective thinking. And I would like to thank all the viewers as well as also for giving me this wonderful, lovely evening with you. Thank you.